Community is very important. Apartment was empty. I literally had to furnish everything from my bed. So the only thing I had in this apartment was a fridge. See, coming to America requires that all the ajebota you're doing back in Nigeria, whatever country you're coming from, you need to dump those things at the airport. Please do a comprehensive medical checkup. They charged me $250 to remove one tooth. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Buki. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel and also turn on notifications so you do not miss my videos. And if you're an old subscriber, welcome back. So on the channel today, we're going to be talking about things you need to know as an international student before relocating to the United States. I personally think this is a very important video which you need to watch because understanding and knowing these things would help you navigate life better as an international student, irrespective of the state you find yourself. Before we get into this video, I would just like to do a brief intro for people that are probably new here. So if you're new here, my name is Buki. I'm currently based in Connecticut. I bagged my master's degree in public health in 2023 at the University of New Haven here in Connecticut. There are videos on grad school, so if you're about like going to the embassy for your interview or you're just confused, like things to pack when you're coming, a whole lot of things, there is a playlist you should actually watch. And I'm also going to leave the link, to some of my videos somewhere in the comment section or like on the screen as well. This has been on my mind. I just felt this would be the perfect time, perfect season to actually film and share for people that will be coming here in the fall semester. So I'm going to be talking about I'll be sharing personal experiences being in Connecticut. I know you might not be coming to Connecticut, but this would also apply. So for context, I had been traveling to the US to visit, have fun, just see family. But obviously that's different from actually packing all your bags, moving from your country, your family, and coming to start a new life in this country. Also, I had my undergrad in Ukraine, so I've had experience of living across continents, all of these things. But nothing prepared me for actually coming to the US as an international student. So after you have done your interview, your visa has been approved, you're prepping, want to know what to pack, ensure you watch my things to pack before coming to the United States video. One of the things you also want to do is watch videos on YouTube, like what are other people saying about grad school, and specifically the state or the city you are going to. In my own case, I never did that. Maybe if I had watched videos of what it looks like or feels like living in Connecticut, I probably would have had, an idea how things really are. But also now thinking about it, even if I had watched, it wouldn't have prepped me for what I came here to meet. City is white dominated, right? And I realized that it was when or after I shared my grad school experience, journey, stories, people started reaching out. A lot of people, oh my god, I've not seen any video on what it looks like studying in Connecticut or what it feels like studying in Connecticut. So you might have been onto something here, because so I'm actually really glad that I shared my grad school journey, because through those videos, a lot of people found me on Instagram, Twitter, and were just asking me questions about what it feels like living here in Connecticut. So you want to watch videos. I'm sure there would have been somebody or something. You will find a video or maybe shorts on the school you're going to. And sorry if you do not find, that's fine. When you get here, you will try to figure things out. This brings me to the second point. So if by chance you do not find anything on YouTube, Google is your next best option. You want to find out what it is like, standard of living, the white black ratio. For example, Connecticut is white dominated, so you want to check what is the ratio of black to white, things like that, what it seems like, which areas are safe, so that way it will help you properly plan to know areas you probably want to stay, and just see what the school you're coming to, what it also feels like, and also knowing the number of black people in your school as well. These things actually really help. So Google and YouTube, they will actually really help you. Maybe TikTok as well, because a lot of things, there's a lot of information on TikTok, and you shouldn't sleep on TikTok as well. I personally love living in Connecticut, even though people are always okay, Connecticut is white dominated, but I like Connecticut because Connecticut is peaceful, right? And I don't like places where we have a whole lot of, black people. Like, I think it suits my personality basically. So depending on where you're going to as well, these things are also very important. So you know how best to navigate the location or your environment when you arrive. For my third point, we'll be talking about weather. That is also very important, and you'll get to find this or know about this when you do your initial research, right? So for me, I've always known that Connecticut is cold, which wasn't really a big deal because I lived in Ukraine. Ukraine is cold as hell, right? But for you coming, you also want to check to know so you can know the things to pack just to even prep yourself mentally. Although prepping mentally might not be enough, but just so you know what you're dealing with. Does that make sense? So for example, if let's say your school is somewhere, maybe Alaska, you know that you can't buy any silly winter jacket from Nigeria. It's not going to work. So these things actually really help you to also plan, like to know the kind of, jeans to bring or the kind of things to bring basically. Moving on, we'll be talking about transportation. This is such a big deal. For example, there are states where they don't have like the best transport system. You might not even be able to catch trains, right? Or maybe they have just few trains. You want to know that if you want to come with money to probably get a car, to know how best, to know where you even get your accommodation, whether your accommodation has to be close to school. Because if you're going to be getting accommodation somewhere, far from school and they don't have the best transport system in the state you're going, then that's going to be an issue. You either have to buy a car or you would always have issues, long story short. So coming here for me, transportation wasn't really a big because I wasn't going to start driving, but thankfully Connecticut has one of the best systems. Like we literally have trains that can take you to Massachusetts, that can take you to New York, that can take you to New Jersey. Like excellent. We have buses, we have Amtrak, we have so many things. And also like as a student as well, my house was literally like 20 minutes walk from school or 30 minutes walk, like not bad at all. And most times I'll just try to walk to school. So it made it very easy for me to kind of like walk when it was warm, So you also want to check that out, even though I didn't get to know about that because it really wasn't my cup of tea. But if transportation or movement is very important for you, then you might actually want to reach out, to school or just do more research on that. So now we're going to be talking about places to shop. So I think different states have different major stores. So for example, in Connecticut, I don't think we have Kroger's. Meanwhile, in some other states, they have Kroger's. Here in Connecticut as well, we don't have stores like Costco. So I think different states have like major retailers. But here in Connecticut, that is also very important. You probably want to do like a random Google search. Here in Connecticut, for example, we have places like Aldi. Google will let you know days you probably need to go to this store for cheap stuff, the days they, restock things like I wish I actually knew that. Because when I came, I wasn't doing cheap, stores or knowing particular days to go grocery shopping. I was just going. And here in Connecticut as well, we have ShopRite. So that's also very important. For example, as well, thankful to, I think it was Baby when I came initially, she was like, for household items, you need to go to places like Family Tree, Dollar Tree. They have a lot of options and they're also super affordable. So thank God for that, because that also kind of like really saved me a lot of money as opposed to going to places like ShopRite or Walmart, to buy major household items. So I think that is also very important. Just knowing which, grocery retailers are in your states, that's also going to help you plan better. And for all, some of them even offer like discounts. You never can tell. I wish I knew some of these things as well before coming. Another thing you also want to know is that when you're trying to decide or choose where you want to stay, safety is also very important. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I am in West Haven. West Haven is obviously where my school is, right? But West Haven is one of the safest places to be in Connecticut. I'm not going to lie. And meanwhile, there are some places like downtown, they are not so safe. Some might be safe, but not so safe, because you also want to be very, very careful. You want to be in areas where, they're safe, and also like proximity to your school as well. Because you don't want to be, let's say in West Haven, and you're staying somewhere that's like 1 hour away. It's going to cost you money. And imagine if you have like lectures at night, it won't be easy for you to find your way back. And that's just going to mess things up. So knowing the location, the proximity, I feel like whatever accommodation you're getting should be somewhere really close to your school. That is also really going to help you. I'm glad I live in West Haven. Like, it is so peaceful. It is so peaceful. Like, you can literally see all of these things on Google. The safest places or the safe places for you to be in your state. That is something you should also look into. Another thing you need to know, which I actually knew, which I actually experienced, community is very important. And when I'm talking about community, I'm talking about church. I'm not talking about other international students from your country. I mean, that is also very important because they might have the right information for you. They might have opportunities for you. But I wish I found my church, and like when I first of all came. It probably would have made my life easier. I would have had friends from the very beginning. I didn't find my church until after I graduated, which was 2 years, so you don't want it. And sometimes I heard that, some churches make life easy for you when you come. Not even that I heard. Even my church, when people come newly, like international students come, right? And we manage to invite them to church. Sometimes church even makes arrangements to go pick these people up at the airport. When I was coming, as I landed in New York, I took an Uber. Do you know how much that cost me all the way to Connecticut? If I had known my church before coming, I probably wouldn't have spent that money. And also, just trying to navigate some things I probably bought myself, I would have gotten them from church. Things like this. So I think that is also very important. So one of the things you want to do is to, which area am I coming to? You want to check which churches, if you're a Christian, which churches are around. How did I find my church? I found my church because my mom suggested that there will be redeemed churches close to you. Redeem is everywhere. Even though we are not redeemers, right? We attend First Way back in Nigeria. An easy Google search, redeemed churches near me. Just my church was the first church that came. I was like, okay, that's not far from me. This is somewhere I can actually walk to. And that was how, I was able to get to my church. So knowing that as well will be very, very important. You can also connect with people on LinkedIn, people that attend your school, to ask certain questions. I had my friends here. They were graduating 3 months, I think, after I got to, they were graduating in summer of the spring. I actually came here. So they helped, but I'm just trying to let you know that it is very important you connect. So if I didn't know them here, I would have networked or connected with people on LinkedIn, just trying to find people because trust me, starting over in a new country is not easy at all. So having people that will just hold your hand and walk you through would be really great for you. One thing also is you must always ask questions. Hey God, you can't just come here and be doing, I know it all. Your eye will peel. Your eye will peel. You have to ask questions. You're asking questions. Your school, you're asking questions. But you're asking questions from different people because information is power. Knowledge is power. And you never really know until you ask. And when you come, you're not going to be forming, doing all those things. You never know. You never know who's going to give you the necessary information you need. And it's very important that you as well, you're a great resource for other people as well. That is very important. If you ask questions, you'll get all the necessary information. You will never be stranded. Another thing you need to know is if you are someone who likes traditional food, your native food, please come with them. I'm not even going to lie. Don't let anyone tell you, you don't have to go with food. Yes, you have to go with food. You have to come with food. And this is coming from someone who is not a foodie. But I feel like my experience in Ukraine, when I went initially, I didn't even go with food, I only went with clothes. I saw shege. So just coming here. And also it just saves you money because the very first few months you're here, you're able to focus on other things. For example, now when I moved here, when I got my apartment was empty. I literally had to furnish everything from my bed. So the only thing I had in this apartment was a fridge. Everything else, chairs, couch, everything, I had to buy everything. So imagine spending that much money and you're still trying to struggle with food. And come with as many things you can bring. Your hair, your skincare, things that will probably last you first 3 months. It's better you even pay for excess luggage. I paid for a lot of excess luggage when I was coming. I even had to cargo some of my things to America, especially my trad outfits, things like that. And these things are expensive here. Let me just let you know now. You also need to come with things like wigs, your clippers, anything you can bring. Please, don't let anyone discourage you. Bring. I even came with my own sewing kit because I didn't just want to start stressing. I packed my tape, everything I could bring, I brought them. It will just help you find your balance and things will definitely get better, right? And you're able to focus on certain things per time. You're not just doing so many things at the same time. And now talking about food, coming here, if you don't know how to cook right now, except maybe your dad is a $10, you are Dangote's child, and you can spend money on junk, you can spend money to find someone to cook. Even here, see, even finding someone, depending on the location you go. For example, I'm going to use Connecticut as an example, right? Initially, when I came here, I didn't know about people that were cooking. So long story short, you might come here and not find people that render such services. And if you want to go to a restaurant, in fact, here in Connecticut, we have just one restaurant, one African, Jamaican restaurant here in Connecticut. So you're spending money on food every time when you can just buy like groceries, like maybe like things you will need on a day-to-day basis. And then also if you want to eat your traditional meals, you have them, you have come with them, and that is also going to save you a lot of money. Long story short, no one is going to save you or help you. Like, it is super. I'm not a fan of cooking, but I always have to cook for myself because one, I want to eat healthy meals, because in this America, if you're not careful, you'll just be eating junk, and that is not healthy at all. And also just because timing, like you literally have control over so many things you're doing. You're not waiting for someone to cook, they're not available, they're not taking orders, things like that. You should be ready to know how to do things yourself. Definition of being a handyman. Hey, God. You will set up lamps, or you will set up your bed. You will set up so many things. Like, they're handymen, but imagine them or reaching out and you ask them to come and set up your, dresser, and they're telling you $160, $180. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I had to set all my lamps. I had to set up my bed myself. I don't know if I have a picture. Maybe I'll show you guys somewhere. I'm not sure if I have, but I'll check. I've had to just coming to America requires that all the ajebota you're doing back in Nigeria, whatever country you're coming from, you need to dump those things at the airport. You need to drop them at the airport before coming here, because except you have like crazy money. But even if you have crazy money, you want to save your money to do other things. You want to beautify your space. You want to do so many other things. You want to save money, because as an international student, it is not easy. So you have to be really open-minded. You will carry things. You will lift things, guys. I've been living alone myself, and for every time I've had to go grocery shopping, thankfully now, like with church, I can reach out to my brother, my sister. Oh, I want to go grocery shop. Can you come? Before, I'll literally lift packs of water from downstairs. I would have finished grocery shopping like this. My body will hurt. But who's going to save me? Nobody. America trains you. So if you're someone who is lazy, you probably will find it difficult. You will find it difficult, but hopefully you would adjust. So knowing how to do certain things yourself, even knowing how to make your hair, these things will really save you. Please, before you come to America, just learn what you want to know how to cut hair, you want to know how to make your hair, if you don't know how to cook, just try to learn basic things that will save you. But there's also YouTube, but if you're still home, just try to figure out certain things. This is something you need to know, and it is very important. Come with money that will last you for, I think, about 3 months to 6 months. I know it is not easy, but trust me, it is very, because you don't want to come here and be stranded. I feel like so many people come to the United States thinking that the week they arrive or the next week they arrive, they'll get a job. It might not happen that way. Trust me, before I left Nigeria, I started applying for campus jobs because I really just wanted to get that experience and probably get a job, things like that. But trust me, guys, I didn't get a campus job even throughout my entire degree. I did not get a campus job. Thank God my father was sponsoring, because I'm not sure what would have happened. So it is very important you come with money, you have something, because what if you don't get a campus job immediately you get here? And as an international student, you are not allowed or expected to work outside of campus. So money is very important. While I understand everyone's story is different, some people even get jobs before coming, some get first week and all that, but I think it is also very important you come prepared than coming and then you're stranded. Even if you get a campus job, it might not be enough to cover your basic needs. To be honest, you have rent, you probably have your tuition, you have so many things to cover. So having some financial security a little bit for 3 months or 3 to 6 months would really go a long way. The next thing I want to talk about is very, very important. Please do a comprehensive medical checkup before coming. There's some tests and some vaccines you need to do before coming, but I'm saying do a comprehensive one. Check your teeth, check everything you need to check. I'm going to use myself as an example. So I came in January, and I think sometime in, was it August? I can't even remember. I started feeling tooth pain, right? Long story short, went back and forth, realized I had the hole in my tooth, and my school insurance, medical insurance, was not going to cover it at all. I wish I knew, because of course the hole would have given signs, or it would have started out really small. I wish I had a comprehensive checkup, because that would have been detected on examination, right? And guess what, guys? I had to pay, because at some point it was so bad. I was literally crying. I'm not going to lie, I'm not exaggerating. I thought I was going to die. So I had to go to a private dentist. We realized that the tooth needed extraction, and guess how much they were going to charge me? Because I had to now go to private practice, right? And they charged me $250 to remove one tooth because it had a hole. Are you freaking kidding me? First of all, thank God I was able to get a very fast appointment, that they didn't have to ask me to wait for weeks, because the pain was unbearable. It was so bad, and considering the fact that I live alone, like, it was so bad. There was no one to, it was like, what I mean bad, tooth pain, toothache, you guys know now, very bad. So I'm so thankful that my dad sorted that out, because if he did not sort that, what would I have done? $250 might not be a big deal to some people. It might be a big deal to some other people. But that is a lot of money, especially if you just relocated. You're literally spending money on so many things. You're trying to settle down. You're trying to pay your tuition. And then you now have a bill. God forbid, any unnecessary sickness, right? So please do a comprehensive checkup. Do all the scans you can. Just do everything. Check your teeth. Do scaling. Do polishing. Do everything. Anything that has to do with your teeth here. Dental appointments, they are very expensive here in America. In fact, any kind of healthcare generally in America is expensive, right? May God continue to keep us, protect us, may we have sound health. But I just feel like before you come, if it's not something you have done, please do all the necessary tests, do everything you need to do. Another thing I would like to talk about is that you have to come prepared that you will be lonely. Yes. You will be lonely. So if you're someone who likes people, you can't be by yourself, I'm sorry. America might not be the best, because everyone is literally trying to figure things out. Everyone is trying to hustle. When people ask me, so how are you able to navigate your time in grass? I'm like, so my friends, or I don't like to just use the word friendship anyhow. My classmates, and the time I came, were even still taking lectures online. Then later I started taking in person once in a while and everything. I don't think we really all of us connected to say friendship or whatever it is, because most people are trying to hustle. And I mean that I wasn't hustling. That my father was sponsoring. I couldn't, be using my own to be stressing other people that were trying to figure things out, were trying to get money for tuition, were working on campus, were doing all of those things. So you will be lonely. And trust me, coming from someone who likes to be alone, who thrives, living alone, being alone, spending time with herself. I love all of that stuff. But sometimes you just probably want maybe a coursemate, you just want to hang out with. Most times I'll literally go to restaurants, explore certain things myself. So you might, if you go to a place where it's really white dominated, since it's even better, at least now I kind of have a community. Your first few months or even first year, you will be lonely, or you might be lonely. It really just depends. You'll be really shocked. And this is not talked about enough. So just come prepared. You might meet people, you might not meet people, but life continues. Another thing I would like to say is be open, when it comes to interacting with people and also making new friends. You might be surprised that your classmates are, people that are friendly, or just spending time with them. You guys can plan hangouts once in a while. And this is coming from someone who doesn't like people like that. Trust me, but I think it is very important, because information and just having people that, you guys start the course with or together, and you guys will end together. Another thing you need to know is that we're not saying, things won't work out. Things might not really go how you have planned it in your head. In fact, some international students go through a lot until they graduate, and maybe even after, before they get the actual job. But do not be discouraged. America really is the land of opportunities. Things would always get better. And there's really something about the American dream. When you get here, you feel it, and there's gonna be this drive, this thing in you that you have to make it, whether the devil likes it or not, in this country. So I just want you to not like be so hard on yourself or come, oh, I must do this, no. And life is definitely step by step, but one thing I want you to know is things will definitely work out for you. It might not be easy from the very beginning. I mean, like, you have a lot to navigate, a lot to figure out. It is not easy. Being an immigrant is not easy, but hey, you're so brave for actually leaving your country and saying you want to come and pursue, your studies, you want a better future for yourself, whatever reason or whatever is making you come here, like, it is such a big deal and things will definitely work out for you. Long story short, these are some of the things you need to know. These are some of the things I wish I knew before coming here as an international student. Like I said, traveling to come and have fun, to come and chill with family is not the same as actually packing, moving your whole life from whatever country you're coming from to the United States. Thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know if there are other things, if you're watching this and there are suggestions of things you wish you knew before coming here, please share in the comment section. And if you also have specific questions regarding grad school, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best on this new journey, and also congratulations. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to turn on post notifications, and see y'all in my next video. Bye.